everyone, and welcome back to the YouTube channel. Today I'm going to share with you the hand milking experience. This is Belle. She recently calved about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and we turned her into our family milk cow. Now, she was formerly a pasture cow. See that? She's liking this. She was wild and untamed. We literally scared the crap out of her every time we got in the pen. They want to run from us, they want to pee, they want to poo. They're messy barn animals. If you're going to have a family milk cow, you've got to have patience. She was never halter broke from birth. She was born on the pasture, raised on the pasture with her mom. Her mom was unfriendly and unbroke, and we just let them be that way. It was just easier for us to let the mom raise the calf. I haven't had a milk cow on the farm in probably 10 years, and she was like the great-grandmother of this cow. She was a great cow. It is an experience that you cannot get anywhere else. It's a bond that you don't get with a puppy or a dog. It's providing you with nourishment for your body, and it's not like a bond that I had with my mother or a bond that I have with my children. It's just totally different. And when you get into a rhythm of milking that cow, you just feel good about it. Sometimes she leans into me, and you know, I've just learned different tips and tricks that have helped bring it along and make it easier. So I'm going to share this with you today. So a couple of the first things we do every day is we make sure that she has fresh water and a clean, dry pen. Milking a dirty cow is no fun. So you can see she was laying on her side. Her pen was wet last night for some reason, and a lot of it is the pen next to her. She is in the low pen. It's not a perfectly level concrete situation, and I probably could have given her more straw. I also milked her early, so I'm going to milk her on the other side, and it solves that problem. She actually prefers for me to milk her on the other side, and it works out really well because we tried a head stanchion. Didn't go well, didn't like it. She likes to just be tied. And she's at the point now that I don't really have to tie her. She's just wants to be milked, and I'll give her fresh hay. We tried grain with her. She didn't want anything to do with it. A little treat, you know, to help with the extra calories and the energy. She didn't want it. She likes the attention. She likes to be pet. She likes to be scrubbed. And I don't just brush her, as you can see. Really rub her and massage her. Now, if the flies are bad, you need something to help prevent that, because that's just the worst, to have a fly bothering you and you can't swat at it. Now, we've learned tie up her tail, and it goes pretty well, doesn't it? Yeah. So see how she's standing now with her side away from me? I have to lead her a lot of times over to her food so that I can brush her other side. So we just do the best we can. She's all wet there. A lot of times you can take dry straw and rub her. Hi. And now that she's more halter broke, come with me. She's going to prove me wrong now. Come on. Come on. Come on, Mama. There you go. Come on. So, see, just gentle. She finds her hay, and then I can clip this. So you can see she's ready. I usually milk her about this time of day. She's a bit wet on this side, more than I'd like. We'll just clean her up. Now, if you can see the little bit of dust and powder coming off of her, that's the fly powder. And I always try to help her by making sure that her legs are clean to keep the flies off of her while I milk her. She just likes it. Yeah. See how she's all wet here? Gotta clean her up. Now, several days ago, she was mad. I forgot to untie her at nighttime. So she had to sit all night next to her feeder and not wander around. She kicked. She threw a fit. She was mad as heck the next day. And she didn't let me forget by the time nighttime came around either. That milk went to the chickens that day. I made sure I had the fly preventative the next day because that was coupled on top of her unhappiness. Yeah. Doing real good, aren't ya? Yeah. Now, I think it's important to always just give her a greeting, a little hand contact. I'm actually trying to halter brake the heifer over there and get him out of there, because after I halter broke her, it was so much easier to do my work in here. And that bull, he gets a little excited. So now we'll wash her and clean her up. And I just have a bucket with a handle, hot soapy water, not too hot. See her? She's moving sideways because she knows what's next. Now, sometimes I don't tie her before I wash her, but I like to keep 3 rags, and I'm just using Dawn dish soap in my water. 1 to wash, she's pretty dirty today. Well, that's not great. And I do it pretty warm because it makes everything go so much easier. And if you have to wash her twice, it's fine. You don't want that taste in your milk. You don't want the bacteria in your milk. Right? And then this bottle here is filled full of iodine. And it's a squeeze bottle to disinfect her teats after I've washed and dried her. Now, not everybody does it this way. And you know I have the surge milkers that I rebuild and sell also. For 1 cow that's producing 2 to 2.5 gallons right now, that's a lot of work and setup. So for now, we're doing it this way. Now the benefit of the milker is you can go to the next cow, the next goat, and you can go about your business while they're being milked. You don't have to sit there doing it. But you also don't get that bond with the cow that I was talking about. So now I'm kind of upside down trying to get this part of her udder clean. Like I said, she's very dirty today. And then I just keep my rags right on me. And I just use whatever rags we own. I'm not buying shop towels and things like that. These are my kids' and husband's old t-shirts, old socks. I give them all a nice dry. Now, when I first was milking her, I would dry her, then disinfect her, and use the same towel I was drying her, and realized, more cleanliness. So this is my drying rag. I'm just going to wipe her off and try to stay out of that. How did you get so messy last night? Yuck. All right, so now she's cleaner. We're not going to even have to work in that part. And in this case, I'll just make sure I don't lean into her today. Squeeze that and the little cup fills up. See, it's made to be held sideways like this. Go around, get the ones farthest from you. Otherwise, you could be dripping iodine on yourself. A lot of people like to do different things. I'm actually using the iodine as wound care for her because she had that bloat and she had to get cut. Now, dry off the iodine. I don't like it to sit there too long because it makes her teeth sticky when I milk her. See, she's really letting her milk down right now. And this girl, I really thought, didn't have much of a hind quarter. This looks real nice, and these less. Her hind quarter, especially this one, especially that one, is a producer. I can milk this one teat the whole time I'm milking these 2 teats, and a lot of times when I get to the 3rd one, I'm still milking this 1st one. All right, so now she's ready. Now I've already cleaned out her pen. And I keep this drying rag back in my pocket in case I get milk all over myself, which I do. I use her stall ledges. And we compost our own manure in the field. So all that is just right outside her window. All back to the field. Got my brush sitting there. Get everything out of her reach. Because when you're done with the milk, you want to get that milk cooling as fast as possible. So when I'm all done milking, I just scoot out of here. Now you can choose to sit on a bucket. These lids aren't real strong if you're heavy. Keep that in mind. And see how I have this tied? I keep this here every day. See what she just did on her own? I'm ready, she says. So she moved to pee one more time, so that was good. Now I make a loop here around her tail. I put the strings through it, just like that, and pull. Now key to this, I've learned, is go about mid-tail. I also trimmed her tail a while back. She really likes to smack me in the face. And then I just tie this with a bow right to the side rail. And now we're ready to go. Now, a lot of people will test their milk in a strip cup. I used to do that. Now I just spray the first squirt or 2 right on the floor. You can spray it into your hand, whatever. It's a mastitis check. If it's stringy, odd looking, they actually make mastitis kits that you can test. A lot of people do that once a week. So, squirt. Did you see how she just changed her position a little bit? That's great. She's doing it on her own, and she's letting me in this opening. If your cow won't do that, or if you've got your kids helping you, you might want to take their leg closest to you and pull it back and tie it to something. That way it keeps them off balance so they can't kick at you, they can't try to walk away. She's being really good, and as you can see, she's just standing waiting. Cup the teat, pull down. Now every hand, every pull, that milk stream is going anywhere it wants. It's hard to always aim. Now I've got a 2.5 gallon bucket. I've got a larger bucket that's about 4, and it's a stainless steel milk bucket. We don't have power or water in the barn, so I have to take all this stuff to my kitchen. Cup and squeeze. You're not pulling down. You're cupping it and squeezing it with your ring fingers, middle finger, and pinky. Now I would say from beginning to end, this is never more than 20 to 30 minutes. About 12 hours apart. You just milk her till you're feeling that her teeth are shriveled up and empty. A lot of people ask, how do you know? If you're milking your cow by hand, you know. The firmness is going away because it's no longer full of milk filling it up. So you might wonder, what are we doing with all this milk? Well, I currently have about 6 gallons of milk in my fridge that I have to process today. We try to keep it at about 4. Our family drinks about 1.5 gallons a day, just on a regular day. So I'm using the cream for ice cream and butter. You can leave the cream all in it for a whole recipe for making cheese. We've done cottage cheese. You use the buttermilk for making butter and everything. You can use it in place of water in recipes like biscuits. We use the buttermilk in pancake and waffle mix, homemade bread. A lot of that baking products just gets the buttermilk instead of standard milk or water. Some people like to just drink the buttermilk too. It's a different taste, it's acquired. I don't know if I said we did cottage cheese, we did mozzarella. I'm going to do ricotta today. Some people in the house are really looking forward to some lasagna. So if I get out of the house, I got to pick up a few lasagna supplies. And that's the thing about, you know, the milk. If you're buying milk, like we were, at $5.50 a gallon, it's really easy to say it's just easier to buy what's on the shelf. You start looking at the ingredient list, and it makes you want to make it on your own, even if you have to buy the milk. The ingredients in like sour cream is amazing. I did countertop sour cream the other day. It was easy. So this first teat is empty, it's shriveled up. I'm moving over to there. Now a lot of times when I'm starting another teat, I kind of get it going a little bit so that my rhythm is matching. The nice thing about milking her here, now anticipate that movement. Sometimes I have to block her. Remind her that I'm here. Protect your milk. Spills happen. Stay calm. Don't yell at her. That doesn't help anybody. It's just like yelling at your kids. Everybody just gets upset. It's not always easy. Now at nighttime, a lot of times Bethany will sit on the bucket and I'll squat next to her and behind her so that she's getting an experience, and she'll usually milk out a teat or a teat and a half. Good to have a substitute in case I ever can't get to it. Now, if you haven't seen in the channel, Bethany's 9 and she's real good at it. If my husband milks her, it'll probably just end up going to the chickens. Now, if your hands get tired at first, you can give yourself a break. You don't have to go fast. You can go at any speed or pace you're comfortable with. It's not a marathon. You don't have to be first. You just have to get it done. It's really nice sometimes to just put a YouTube video up on the ledge and listen to something. Animals like classical music, calming, quiet stuff. See how calm and nice she is? When I say she was a wild cow, I mean she was a wild cow. The only more wild she could have got was just being out on a range or in a pasture far away from humans at all, but they didn't want anything to do with us. There was no chasing these guys down for anything. You had to coax them into a trailer for anything just to get them moved from point A to point B. She had to get coaxed into a trailer to be brought here. When we knew she was getting an udder developed, that there was a baby coming after winter. So she spent the last part of winter here in the barn getting more used to us, and she was still wild. So now my back udder is about empty. There's such a thing as called hind milk. Make sure you empty it. That hind milk, they teach you when you're breastfeeding your own baby, is make sure you get that, get it all out. I think emptying the udder, the teat, is really important to preventing mastitis. Your method is because you're not forcing milk back up into her. And now we'll start the other teat. Now, if your arms and hands are getting dirty from milking the cow, and then milk is dripping on you and then into the bucket, it's going to taste like cow. So keep that in mind. That's why you want your cow's pen clean, to keep that milk tasting nice. You want a clean cow, a clean pen, and you'll get clean milk. Sometimes it's okay if you change teats to change your position of your milk bucket. Sometimes I have to change my hands to give my hands a break. But back to that cow tasting milk, you really want to cool this as fast as you can. I simply strain it to make sure there's nothing, in it, a fly, a little bit of chaff or anything, dirt. Strain it, it goes through a coarse filter and a fine filter, through a funnel, and into whatever I'm going to put it in the freezer or the refrigerator. We use recycled pickle buckets or pickle jars. They're 1 gallon and half-gallon containers. The Mount Olive pickles from the store, the whole pickles. You get the pickles and the jar for $5 to $7, so you can reuse those jars for your maple syrup, your milk, jarring eggs. We'll be doing that soon too. So this homesteading stuff takes twists and turns. If you aren't already subscribed, you can subscribe to the channel so that you can follow along with things as they change. The farm is always changing. There's not always farm related videos. Sometimes it's a do-it-yourself repair video. So she just changed her position, and it's getting harder for me to reach her right there, so I just changed and move with her. But there's a little bell down there on the side. If you hit that bell, that's called notifications. If you hit that notification, you'll get a ding when a video comes out to your device, or when you're subscribed on your list, when you sign into your YouTube account to watch videos for the day, there'll be a little blue dot next to our video or our channel name, letting you know that there's a new something to watch, whether it's a short, a live, or a video. Now, if you like these kinds of videos, it's important to hit that like, because then it suggests it to you the next time it comes up, and it tells other people, hey, this is the kind of video that other people like. It's called their algorithm. So ours is very low in the algorithm for the channel because we're not a big farm and we do lots of things. And I don't think YouTube likes us doing all these DIYs and money-saving things. We're not promoting consumerism. Homesteading just doesn't. We've done the things in the past where we spent lots of money, and we like to keep it simple. Have the tools you need, for sure. Because doing everything the hard way, there's no reason to kill yourself doing it. What's easy for one guy is not easy for the next. So you can see that stream is just going. And it changes direction as I work. Now I'm wearing my muck boots in here right now. I've ruined a good pair of leather shoes by coming in here and accidentally spraying my feet, my pants. So a lot of times I'll milk her in one set of clothes and then change my clothes for the day. Are you milking the cow? When are you going to be back? At this point, she's still got quite a bit of milk in her. My hand's tired. The last quarter is always slow for me. So I said, it's not a marathon. I used to do pedicures and manicures all day long. I was rubbing some big, heavy women's feet. My hands were built up, and this is totally different. Switch hands, gotta rest, and I get a nice full stream. Easy. Yeah. That's the reason some people like milking stanchions, so they can lock the cow's neck into it so they can't shift so much. We're just getting by. I can't really have a milking stanchion in her stall. And this is a step down stall from the main floor. So to have to move her in and out just isn't convenient. Now, ideally, when the bull is gone, she'll occupy 2 pens. One for milking, that's always dry, and then the middle pen for living in. Now we're almost done, but let's bring you in for an up close. Here's our bucket. There's her teat. And squeeze. It's hard to see. But see, and just fill it up, push up, kind of. Let it fill, you can feel it in your hand when that milk is moving to let down. I need somebody else to film this. Oh, she nicely shifted her leg a little bit for me. She says, yeah, I'll be on YouTube. Always ask your family if they want to be in the videos, because not everybody does. Not everybody does all the time. Maybe they're not in the mood that day. I always greet the cow. I talk to her about things, tell her what we're making with her milk. I think it's just nice for her. And I always thank her when we're done. Give her a good pat. And then when I'm done, I try to treat her with the fly spray or fly powder so that the flies aren't bothering her all day long. And then it's working on her later. Now we're about done. You don't feel it filling up in your hand. And that's it. So when they're all shrivelly and soft like that, this doesn't change too much. It's just not as hard. But the actual teat is soft. So she's all empty. So one of the things I told you before, one of the important things about not having your milk or your butter taste cowy is to cool it down as fast as possible. The half gallons cool it really fast, and they seem to store in the refrigerator space-wise better. And I'm able to just rinse off all my stuff really quick and then go back with soap and water and get it clean. So her evening milk tonight, just slightly less than a gallon. I got to start on homemade chocolate ice cream today. I did butter, so this is the buttermilk from that. This is cottage cheese that I made the other day, so lasagna is coming like I said, and a batch of buttermilk biscuits as well. That's not even all of it. Here's 2 more gallon jars that we're working on from previous days. So you can see how quickly these gallons take up space. So I like to have the half gallons, and actually the half gallon ball mason jar, I realized today the opening's a bit smaller than on the pickle jars, and it was actually hard to skim the cream off of that. And I really like the half gallon pickle jar the best because it fits in here 3 across perfectly, or I can do a gallon and 2 pickle jars on either side to balance everything out really good. So you can see I got a lot of cheese making to do tomorrow, and I think we'll be making some batches of mozzarella. Here's our buttermilk biscuits. I make a batch about every 2 days, and they make a great snack when everyone gets hungry.